Well guys, I can't think of any more Ace Combat jokes, which means I'm officially out of ideas. Oh well, I guess I just have to make a self-destructive political rant that nobody asked for. Here goes. My opinion on Donald Trump is, wait a minute, it's the end of the year. I can just phone it in with a top 10 list. Okay, so not all these games came out in 2018, but I did play them for the first time this year. Also, I just got a PS4, so I didn't play Red Dead or God of War or Arkham City yet, so sorry, those aren't going to be on here. Please don't leave this exact comment. Blatant Sorcery is basically Dark Messiah in VR. At its core, it's a simple wave-based melee combat game. But unlike games like Skyrim VR, where enemies are just hitboxes that play a dying animation when their HP hits 0, enemies in Blatant Sorcery actually have simulated physics and react in real time to your attacks. This means that you can physically parry their swings, grab a guy by the throat and bash his head against a table till he dies, or kick him into a spiked wall. The obvious comparison to this game is Gorn, but the difference is that Gorn has a more cartoonish slapstick vibe, while Blatant Sorcery feels like you're actually stabbing somebody in the face. Honestly, I can see how people would think that this is a disturbing level of realistic violence, but doesn't that just want to make you play it even more? For a while, it looked like the Ace Combat series was dead in the water, so this absolute madman said screw it, I'll just make my own Ace Combat game. Project Wingman is currently in development, but you can download a pretty hefty PC demo for free and give it a try. It's a near-perfect clone of the Ace Combat formula. 2019 should be a good year, because as far as I'm concerned, we have 2 new Ace Combat games coming out, Ace Combat 7 and Project Wingman. Most mobile games are hot garbage, but I've really been enjoying the Civilization-esque gameplay of the Battle of Polytope. It takes all the fun of a regular 16-hour-long game of Civ 5 and distills it into a focused 30-minute match. There's 2 modes, a regular Conquest mode that goes on indefinitely, and the far superior Perfection mode, in which you only have 30 turns to get a higher score than your opponents. It's the exciting early phase of Civ, where you're barely established and every move matters, except before you can really start to snowball, it just ends. If you want your mobile gaming sessions that have a bit more depth, give Polytopia a try. Mario Party is a total RNG fest that tries to trick you into thinking it's skill-based by having minigames. 100% Orange Juice, on the other hand, isn't ashamed of what it is. It takes the board game portion of Mario Party and fully embraces its random nature. Combine this with a cutesy anime presentation that has a button in the options for how high-pitched you want the voices to be, and you have a recipe for a hilariously frustrating game. Now, if you try to play this game single player, you'll probably go insane, but when played with friends, it's a great platform for trash talking and screwing each other over. It's just good, clean, no skill, completely random fun. Unless you win, because then you're just obviously a better player than everyone else. Since there was no new Titanfall game this year and Battlefield 5 is dead on arrival, I turned to Black Ops 4 for my yearly multiplayer shooter fix. I'm not going to say a whole lot about it since I already reviewed it in a separate video, but suffice to say that the annoying crap is kept to a minimum and the gunplay is as good as ever. And now that you can buy the multiplayer by itself for $30, it's a great value. Everyone knows about Superhot by now. It's a great game normally, but VR brings it to a whole nother level. The moment you realize you can actually physically walk around to dodge enemy attacks is super liberating. And as you fight your way through the campaign, the game makes you feel like the coolest action hero of all time. My only gripe is that the game is too short, but when the content on offer is this much fun, it's hard to complain. If you aren't convinced that VR is the future of gaming, Superhot VR will make you a believer. If Superhot is the game that gets people to believe in VR's potential, Beat Saber is the one that solidifies it as a legitimate gaming medium. The concept is simple. You have 2 lightsabers and you gotta hit blocks to the rhythm of the song. But the sheer fun in performing this simple task can't be properly conveyed with words. It makes you feel like you're dancing, even if you are just flailing around like an idiot. The base game has great songs, but the game really shines when you download custom maps. There's so many fantastic and copyrighted beat maps out there that you'll never run out of content. Beat Saber is a reminder of how fun video games can be. It's a total joy to play for all ages, and with new maps being made every day, I expect I'll be playing it for years to come. Splinter Cell just kind of stopped existing. Assassin's Creed is an RPG for some reason. Metal Gear Solid, I don't even know what happened there. So thank God we have Hitman 2. Hitman 2 is the rare stealth game where when you mess up, you don't just want to immediately load your quick save. Levels are finely tuned mazes, with NPCs performing their roles like clockwork, just begging you to throw a wrench into the mix and see what happens. Completing a perfect run where you leave no trace is immensely satisfying. So is dressing up as a knight and beating people up with a shovel. The only thing keeping Hitman 2 from being higher on the list is its stupid always online system in a single player game. I feel like I'm letting it get away with murder, but the fact that I'm still wholeheartedly recommending Hitman 2 even with that terrible feature shows you just how dang good it is. Early access, open world, crafting, survival. These are the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. But there is one game who overcame all the odds. Subnautica is one of the best games I've ever played. Setting a survival craft 'em up underwater was genius. The map isn't just some randomly generated empty landscape. It's actually tailor-made, so you always have a new biome to explore. It's not just aimless survival either. The game actually has an end goal, and the story slowly pulls you deeper and deeper into the abyss. Subnautica is one of the most terrifying games I've ever played. There are some absolute units that roam the dark corners of the sea floor, but the game forces you to face your fears to satisfy your curiosity. Subnautica is a game you should play completely blind. It gave me a sense of wonder that I haven't felt since the early days of Minecraft. As far as I'm concerned, this is a must-play game.
We shouldn't have gone so deep.
Ace Combat Advance. Review Ace Combat Advance. Well, guess what, idiots? I'm actually doing it. You seriously thought I was out of Ace Combat jokes? Just listen to this. In Ace Combat Advance, you play as... Okay, this game sucks. Jeez, I really only liked 9 games this year? Oh well, I'm sure next year will be better. We've got Ace Combat 7, The Outer Worlds, Gears of War 5, another Far Cry, Anthem? Is that Tango Line?